Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Spider-Man is back in the box office with the second highest debut of 2023. Let's talk about this and what kind of effect this could have on AMC stock. We'll also talk about the OPEC Plus meeting that just happened here today and a big catalyst coming tomorrow that could really start to put some pressure on the shorts. As well as that, we're going to talk about, the GME, AMC, Ortex data, everything you need to know here in this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. So, first and foremost, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse opens to 120.5 million, second highest debut of 2023. It was the second biggest opening of 2023, right behind Super Mario Bros. Movie. The film also marks the third best opening weekend for any Spider-Man film, animated or live action. Now, this is a pretty big deal. It says, as a PG animated film, Across the Spider-Verse is able to capture a younger audience beyond the core fans of the live-action PG-13 films, and thus ensures the long-term cross-generational appeal of the character and the movies, said senior media analyst at Comscore. This is money in the bank for the studio and for movie theaters. This is likely to be seen as a very positive thing because this certain demographic, which is younger people, kids, they tend to get their parents to spend a little bit more money on things like concessions. And I think you're going to get some, positive news coming from that as well. And just overall is going to be a beneficiary to AMC. AMC is obviously the largest player in the theater industry. And I mean, that's a good thing for AMC. Now, if we take a look at Adam Aron's Twitter, he says, I'm smiling, went for groceries at Walmart near my Kansas City house. It sells our new ready-to-eat and microwave AMC Theaters Perfectly popcorn. Have eaten it repeatedly, but this was the first time I personally saw it in a store. Our extra butter and classic butter were sold out. So, looks like you're getting some pretty good demand there. Now, goes on to kind of clarify something as well. This Directors Guild strike that we're seeing, they just reached a new multi-year union agreement. Could be an important step in settling the current Writers Guild strike. A short writer's strike, a few months, is not material to movie theaters. A longer strike would be more painful. And he says 3, 3, and 3. After a 3-year stretch where we needed more films, happily we are 3 weeks into a 3-month period with one huge movie after another. Apparently our guests are coming to see movies hungry and thirsty. Food/beverage sales per patron in the US in May, the highest month ever for AMC. This was put out 5 hours ago. AMC is breaking records, and they're about to break the short sellers. So, fundamentally speaking, I mean, AMC just had the highest sales of food and beverage per patron in the US in May. The highest month ever for AMC. I had to just say that twice so everyone's fully aware of this. Fundamentally, the business is doing just fine. It's recovering. I mean, you're getting more records being broken all the time with AMC. All the time. And the stock price would not be reflective of that. And that's because, obviously, I don't want to get into this too far, but you got a lot of shorts. You got a lot of market maker shorts. You got a lot of people buying these deep in the money puts. Now, that can lead to a gamma squeeze because you've already seen a reverse gamma squeeze. You've already seen these market maker shorts pushing down AMC stock as more institutions are buying these deep in the money puts. And when the stock ultimately does reverse course and starts to make an upside move, that's going to be a bullish event for AMC, and it could send AMC stock up quite dramatically. Now, GME earnings, that's going to be the biggest catalyst of this week. If we take a look at Earnings Whisper, and the economic or the earnings calendar that we're going to have for this week. So Monday, you don't really have too much. GitLab, really nothing crazy. Joann's. Tuesday, pre-market, Cracker Barrel. Tuesday after hours, Dave & Buster's, Stitch Fix, Skillsoft, really not the most exciting companies. Wednesday pre-market, Ollie's, one just actually opened near me, which I didn't even know they were a publicly traded company, to be honest with you guys. Wednesday after hours, you got GameStop, Trip.com, and Rent the Runway. Thursday, you're going to have Toro, Fuel Cell Energy, SecureWorks, a couple other smaller companies as well. Thursday, DocuSign in after hours. And Friday, you're going to have Neo. GameStop Wednesday and after hours, that's going to be a big deal for AMC and GME. I think the way that GME stock has been positioning, you're probably going to get a bullish earnings report. It's kind of just what my years of experience in the markets have showed me. If a stock rallies into earnings, it's usually because people have pretty good expectations of positive earnings. Now, if those expectations get matched or exceeded, usually a positive thing. If they come in short, well, it can set you up for even bigger falls here. So I really think this week for GME, you're either going to see a big up move or a big down move. And I know that's stupid to say, and I hate saying it. I wish I knew which way it would go. But I think you get a bigger move than not. So one of the ways that I would personally look to trade this is kind of both ways. You could go even out the money both ways. And just as long as it moves big, you'll still make money. Obviously, not a financial recommendation, not a guarantee. I'm not a financial advisor. Come to your own conclusions. All of that. But a positive GME earnings report could send GME stock up higher, obviously, quite substantially. Like I said in the last video, 50% could be your best case scenario as a earnings move alone with GME. Well, AMC stock could also rally. Now, GME and AMC are kind of completely different in their short interest. The legal short interest in AMC and GME is kind of the same, but the market maker shorts, which are around 70 million shares that are sold short by market makers, AMC, that's with AMC. GME does not have that. So if AMC does start to rally, market makers are going to have to buy millions of shares back. And relative to the low volume that we have seen, even on Friday, you had 9.4 million shares trade hands. If you get 2-3 million shares that need to be bought by market makers, you're going to be in a full-blown gamma squeeze. And that likely brings in a lot of other people as well. So I'm actually very bullish on this upcoming week, as long as GME has good earnings. That's really something that could be a huge catalyst for AMC stock, because again, not to mention the fundamentals are looking better than ever for AMC, but markets have really shrugged that off. Markets haven't cared recently what's been going on with AMC. Now, if we take a look at some broader kind of catalyst and things that are happening right now, OPEC Plus had their meeting today, and they're sticking to their 2023 oil production targets as Saudi Arabia announces further voluntary cuts. The influential organization of the petroleum exporting countries met on Sunday in Vienna to iron out next production steps as global oil prices remain under pressure from broader macroeconomic concerns. Discussions reviewed both concrete production cuts and changes to the baseline levels that determine each participant's output level. So basically, they're going to keep things somewhat the same. Now, previously, the alliance agreed to 2 million barrels per day decline in October. Some OPEC Plus members announced some voluntary drops of just over 1.6 million barrels per day. And they did just implement an additional voluntary 1 month, 1 million barrel per day cut starting this July. So kind of short term here for a month, which I think is weird, of a 1 million barrel cut per day. We want to see what this does to kind of the markets, because oil going higher is not going to be a positive thing for this market. So that could put some downside pressure on the markets, because inflation obviously would look higher if oil goes higher. It's not going to be a good thing for inflation, and oil is in everything, right? It just is. If it's made with oil itself, or if your product is transported, or it gets shipped to your house, or you go and buy it in a store, everything touches oil, literally everything. So that's why it's such a big deal. Now, I think this is going to be an even bigger event for the markets. It's the Apple WWDC 23 conference. Now, you're expecting iOS 17, Apple's VR headset, new Macs, and a bunch of other things from Apple. This is kind of an easier trade, right? In the sense of, usually there's a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event. Apple stock is trading at the highs. It's at an all-time high right now. So people have been buying the rumor. Well, maybe they sell the news on Monday. And if that's the case, it could send down the broad markets. It could send down big tech quite a bit. And that would obviously be a good thing for AMC, kind of squeezing out the collateral that is here still in the market. So I think this is going to be a big event. It does start at 10 a.m. Pacific time or 1 p.m. Eastern time Monday. So it's not like you have to wait a long time. Coming tomorrow, you're going to see this actively affecting the markets. And I think it's going to make for a very interesting and volatile trade for Apple. So if you guys want to come trade with me live in real time, we will be trading Apple coming tomorrow. Link down below in the description of this video to come join us for that one. But as far as kind of data coming out this week, very dry week. You don't have a lot. You have ISM Services PMI. The weaker this number is, the better it will be for the markets. Last month's reading was 51.9. You're expecting 52.4. So you're expecting services to actually ramp up even more. If it does come in under 52.4, under expectations, you probably get more enthusiasm to this market. Now, another big kind of situation we have for this market is the Treasury is going to start selling a lot of bonds this week. They're going to start selling their 3-month, 6-month, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 7-year bonds, all kinds of different bond auctions. And they're going to be doing like 60 billion a piece in bond auctions. So they're massive. And it could drive interest rates higher. If there's not a lot of demand for these bonds, then the government has to pay out more in interest. That's why America's so privileged, because everyone wants to own American bonds, or just the rest of the world. So you kind of keep low interest rates. Well, we'll see what happens. The TGA, the Treasury General Account, needs to be refilled, and they're going to do that pretty quickly. So that's another factor that could play into this week. I think all in all, with AMC stock and GME, it's very possible you could get a gamma squeeze that could lead into a short squeeze if GME does have positive earnings. AMC, GME, they have virtually the same legal short interest. They're both at about 20% short interest. AMC at 21.67% short interest. AMC's cost to borrow fees are higher. AMC's cost to borrow max of 115.35%. Cost to borrow average 69%. Cost to borrow minimum of 50%. 65% cost to borrow from Interactive Brokers. GMEs are a lot lower, but GME's days to cover is a lot higher, which they're almost equivalent in kind of squeezability. Let's call it that, squeezability. AMC's days to cover is 7.31, so it's been going higher, and I think you could get a lot of volume come into AMC quickly. That could really squeeze shorts out of short positions, give you that gamma squeeze. GME's days to cover is about 16, so a lot higher than AMC, but AMC has a lot of those synthetic shorts currently out on the stock, meaning synthetic because market makers are shorting the stock because all of the options that have been bought. And that's not really something you're seeing with GME. If anything, GME has been benefiting from bullish positioning in the options here. So if you guys have not seen my price prediction video, I highly recommend you guys go ahead and check that out, because I think this week could really turn into quite a squeezy one. So that is going to do it here in this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.